Hello all. In this particular tutorial, we will learn how to install Oracle Database Express Edition 21C on Linux and connect via SQL Developer. Why Oracle Database XE? It's a free Oracle database for everyone. Oracle Database Express Edition is ideal for developers, DBAs, data scientists, and educators. Oracle Database Express Edition is repackaged version of same powerful Oracle database used by enterprise world. Oracle Database Express Edition is completely free. Let me take you to this official Oracle website. Let me open this link in front of you. So let me paste this, and here you can see it's a free Oracle database for everyone, all completely free. Whether you are a developer, DBA, data scientist, and educator, this particular database is free Oracle database provided by the Oracle itself. And this is the same software which is used by the enterprise world, repackaged for simple download, ease of use, and fully featured experience. Now that we know why we should use Oracle database, so whether you want to learn SQL, whether you want to learn PL SQL, whether you want to become a DBA, whether you want to become a data scientist, whether you want to become a developer, this is the free Oracle database provided by the Oracle itself for us completely free. Now that we know why we should use this particular software, let's begin with our next steps. So these are the high level steps. Download prerequisites for Oracle Database 21C. Download Oracle Database Express Edition 21C from Oracle website. Install prerequisites for Oracle Database 21C. Install Oracle Database Express Edition. Configure the database. Connect to the database using SQL developers. So we will be downloading two softwares. One, the prerequisite package, followed by the main software itself. Then we will be installing the prerequisites followed by the main software itself. Once the software has been installed, we will configure the database and we will connect to the database using SQL Developer. The Oracle Database Express Edition is supported on Oracle Linux 8 or Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 or Oracle Linux 7, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. This particular tutorial is done on Linux 8. These are the installation steps. So first we will install the prerequisites as root. So yum install -y Oracle Database pre-install. So this particular pre-install will install the pre-install or prerequisites as for the Oracle database. Then we will install the main software. So Oracle Database XE. So this is the main software. Again, I have chosen the Linux 8 packages because I'm doing this on Linux 8. Once these two softwares have been installed, we are ready. So there will be a conf file which will get automatically created. In that particular conf file, if you want to modify some configuration parameters, go ahead and modify those configuration parameters as per your requirements. And finally, use the etc initd Oracle XE21C configure command, which will configure the Oracle database for us. Once the Oracle database is configured, the installation result will be there will be an Oracle database called XE will get created. There will be one root container called $root which will also get created, and there will be one PDB called XE PDB1 which will get created. So once we configure this database, once we configure the software, we will have a database called XE, a root container called $root, one PDB called XE PDB1. To connect to the database without listener, you will set the environment. So to connect to the container database, you will set the environment using Aura env. Aura env stands for Oracle environment. So you are setting the Oracle environment and you will use the default SID that gets created, which is XE, and then you will say sqlplus sys as sysdba. With this particular command will connect you to the container database, the root container database. If you want to connect via the listener, you can use the connection string something like this. So username, password at the host name. So wherever you are connecting to, the port, the default port in our case would be 1521. You can change it, but the default port which is used by Oracle is 1521. DB service name adds sysdba. So if you want to connect to the container database, you will say sqlplus sys password at localhost 1521 xe as sysdba. This particular password we will be giving when we run the configure command. whatever password we give during the configure command, the same password we will give here. And as I mentioned, 1521 is the default port. When we use this particular syntax, we'll get connected to the CDB because we are saying XC. If you want to connect directly to the pluggable database, you will use exactly same syntax. However, instead of XC, you will say XC PDB1. If you want to connect via the SQL Developer, you can use the SQL Developer. Here, name can be your choice. Whatever you want to give, you can give that particular name. That's your choice. And here, in the host name, you'll give either the IP address or machine name. And if you're doing this on a local machine, you can say localhost as well. The port, default port 1521, and SID is XC. When you use the SID as XC, Oracle SID as XC, you will get connected to the root container. If you want to connect to the PDB, you will, instead of using the SID, you will use the service name, which is the XC PDB1, which is the first PDB, default PDB that gets created. Rest of the parameters will remain the same. Now that we have seen everything, let us begin the labs. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to download these two software. So let me open the software let me open some links for us. So what we can do, we can go to, if you go to this particular link, the second link here you can here, if you click on this, and you can choose if you have Rail 7 or Linux 7, you can choose this. If you have Rail 8 or Linux 8, you can choose this particular package. Now, because I'm doing this on Linux 8, I'll click on this, which will start downloading. As you can see, it has started downloading the Linux 8 Oracle Database 21C Express Edition. Now, I have already downloaded the software, so I'm going to cancel that. The next part is we need to have the prerequisites RPM, So let me open another link for you, and I'll paste this links. And here you can see this again. This, if you have clicked on this particular software, it's the same software that we hear. So that's the same software. And this is if you click on this, this is the same software as this. And if you click on this pre-install, then you will see a small package gets already downloaded. That's a pre-install package for us. We need to first install the pre-install, followed by this particular software. Once we have installed the prerequisites, then we will install the main software, followed by the configure command. So that's all. That's are the steps. So let me close this, and let's go to our Linux environment. So let's go to our Linux environment. Here I have already downloaded those two softwares. So the first is the pre-install package, followed by the main database software itself. So let's install the prerequisite package. So yum local install Oracle Database pre-install 21C, and that's getting installed. Give it a few seconds, and that installation is done successfully. Once the software has been installed, the pre-install package has been done, then we are now ready to install the second main software, Oracle Database XC. This is the main software which will install the Oracle Database XC on this particular Linux 8 machine. So let's go ahead and start that installation. Now, this particular installation takes a bit of time. So you can see it's close to 2.2 GB. So it's a bit of big software. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's the installation start, and then I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back once this particular installation is about to be completed. So give it a few seconds for the installation to begin, after which I will pause the video. And you can see the installation has begun. The first equal to symbol has come, and it will continue to do that until here. And once it reaches here, the installation will be completed. So give it a few seconds. So as you can see, we are almost there, not at, but that's done. And you can see the second software. So we installed the pre-install package, and then we have installed the main database software itself. So now once it installed, here it gives us these two messages. Read those messages carefully. So that will be a default conf file here. So you can see this is the conf file which you can modify, and we will see what is that. And once we have modified that particular file, then we will run this XC21C configure as root, which will configure the Oracle root container for us. So we have to do two more steps for that. So we have just installed the two software as of now. What are the two software that we have installed? Let me show it to you. So the pre-installed package followed by the main database software. So once we have installed that, we have to modify. If you want to modify the conf file, go ahead and modify. And once the modification has been done, we have to run the etc init oracle xc21c configure, which will configure the root Oracle database for us. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this particular file. But before I do that, let me actually create a directory for us. So make directory -p dbd / aura data. Let's create this directory and let's go to this particular directory. We have just created this particular directory and let's verify that there is absolutely nothing in this particular directory. So that looks good. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to modify this particular file. So let's open this particular file, vi conf, and here what we are going to do, we listener port, by default it has not given any listener port. So let's enter a listener port 1521. And here the db file dest, if you leave that, then it will get wherever the Oracle base has been set. Under that Aura data, it will create the database for us. But if you don't want to do that, then we can specify the directory. And remember that we just created a directory. I'm going to give that directory here. So that's done. Let's save that particular file. Let's verify that whatever we have entered in that is saved. So let's verify the port. So the port that I gave is 1521. So let's verify that. And yes, we can see the port. And let's verify the DB file destination that we have given. So let's say Aura data, and whatever we gave the DB file destination, that particular location would be mentioned here. So DB file dest is dbd Aura data. That looks good. Now, again, this particular is the optional tab. If you want to change it, what this particular means, that this will be the listener port using which you will connect to the database. And what this means is that the database will get created here. This is the empty directory that we just created. You can see that's a completely empty directory. Now we are at the final step where we are going to configure the database. And for that, we are going to run this command, which is already given here. So this is the same command that I'm going to take here, and I'm going to run this particular command. Now this particular command will take some time. This particular command actually does two things. It actually creates the listener. It actually configures the database, configures the SID, etc. So this particular command is going to take some time. So give it a few seconds. I'm going to start executing this particular command. And here, first thing that it does is it prompts us the password for sys, system, and PDB admin. Whatever password that you give here, you have to keep a note of this particular password. Remember, you have to give the note. So the first thing that it does is configure the listener and followed by the Oracle database. So the listener has configured and it is now configuring the Oracle database for us. And again, as I mentioned, this particular step is going to take some time. Let me pause the video and come back once we are about to be done. So anytime from now, we should see that we are almost getting created, and you can see completing database creation, 47 completed creating pluggable database, executed some extra steps. But the first thing is as I mentioned, the first thing that it does is creates the listener, followed by an instance, followed by database, followed by pluggable database. So that's done. And it actually gave us this particular links here, which we can note. So if you want to connect to the pluggable database, you will use the host name, whatever is the host name, xcpdb1, and the multi-tenant container is itself on the root. So it also gives us the enterprise manager, which I'm not going to open. Now, so I think we are good here. So let's actually try to connect to our database now that everything is done. So to connect to our database, what we will do, let's clear the screen and let's log in as the Oracle. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say .aura env, and I'm going to give SID as XC, and let's say SQL plus as sysdba. This command is going to, so what is Aura env? Aura env stands for Oracle environment. So we are setting the Oracle environment. XC is the default Oracle SID, the first Oracle instance that gets created. And once we have set that particular environment, and if we say SQL plus sysdba, we will get connected to the root container. So you can see we have successfully connected to the Oracle Database 21C Express Edition. That looks good. Let's see where we got connected. Show con name will tell us where we have connected, and we have connected to the root container cdb $root. And let's see what is the name of our database. So let's run the command called select name from v $database, and we will get an output called xe. So we have connected to an database called xe. So when, as I mentioned, once we have so we have installed this software, we have modified this particular file, and we have configured the database as root. So once we have done, then by default an Oracle database called xe will get created. There will be a root container called cdb $root, and there will be one pdb called xepdb1, which I have not shown. So if I run a command called show pdbs, you will find that there is a pdb called xepdb1. If you connect to the root, and then if you want to connect to the pdb, then you will run a command called alter session set container equals the name of the container or pdb. And if I now say show con name, you will see that here when I ran the show con name, we are connected to the root. But now if I do the show con name, we should be connected to the xepdb1. So you can see now we are connected to xepdb1. So if you want to connect to the pdb, you will run command alter session set container is equal to xepdb1. Now, this is how you will connect using without the listener. So this is SQL plus SHDA is without the listener. Now, if you want to connect to the listener using the listener, then you can give the full syntax, and that would something look like this. So if I run this particular command, let me take this entire command. So we are saying SQL plus sys. This is the password. This is the sys password that we gave during our installation. Localhost means on this local machine. You can give the, if you are doing this on a remote, you have to give the machine name or IP address. 1521 is the default port, and xe means we are connecting to the root container. So if I now run enter, and if I say show con name, you will find that we are connected to the root container. Now, if you want to connect to the PDB, you will use exactly same command. Here, I'll just change this to xepdb1. So now, instead of connecting to the root container directly, we'll get connected to the PDB. So let me enter this. And if I now show you show con name, you can see we are connected to xepdb1. But this might be complicated for some. That connecting via the SQL Plus will complicate it. So how about we connect to the database using SQL Developer. So let's actually download that particular software and let's install. So what we'll do, we will go to the browser and say download SQL Developer. So here we get this particular link. This is the latest version which is available as of today. So let's download this particular component, Windows 64-bit with JDK 17. Let's click on this and you can see it has started downloading. Now I have already downloaded this particular software. I'm not going to waste your time. So you can see this is the software which I have already downloaded. So the installation of this particular software, the installation of SQL Developer is you don't install SQL Developer. There is no installation of SQL Developer. Let me repeat, you don't install SQL Developer. All that you do is once you download the software from the Oracle website, you just extract it and run it. Let me repeat, you don't install SQL Developer. All that you do is you just extract it and run it. That's all it is. So let me right click on this. Let me say extract and let me say extract here. And let's give it a few seconds for the extract to complete. And that's done. And if you can see here, we have got a folder called SQL Developer. And if I say view list, here you get this icon, SQL Developer, launch it, and that will launch us the SQL Developer, Oracle SQL Developer. So we don't install this particular software, we just extract that particular software and we are ready to use this particular software. The first time it will take some time. This is the first time because it will ask us whether we want to import some settings. Only for the first time, it will take some time to launch. The next time onwards, it will be pretty quick. So that's done. If you want to report, you can report. If you want to uncheck, you can uncheck. Now, the way we have to connect to this particular database is we have to give, so let's say click on this plus And here we have to give, here you can give whatever you want to give. This is literally your choice. Whatever name you want to give, you can give here. So what I'll do, I'll say here we'll give sys, here we'll give password, and here will, because we are connecting as a sysdba, we'll say role as sysdba, save password, and since we are connecting to XC, I'll change this as XC so that I know what it is. Here you can either give the local host or the machine name or the IP address, your choice. Local host, IP address. You can say local host if you are doing this on a, sorry, you can't give the local host because SQL Developer is running on a different machine. So you have to give the IP address or the host name. And SID, here we will use SID as XC. So we will do this. And let's do the test connection. Let's do the test connection. And that looks good. So we have successfully connected. If you want to connect to the PDB, let's do XC PDB1. And we can see that that also looks good. So this was how you can connect. So if I now say connect, if I say connect, then what will happen? You can see and session open. And if you want to run any query now, you can run. So this is how you do this. Now, what I'll do, I will do this from my local machine. So let me open a connection for us and let me connect to our database. So let's say we'll give this information. So let's say I want to connect to the PDB. So whatever you want to give, this is your choice. Again, this is something that you remember. This is the sys. This is the password of the sys user. Give here the DB1, the host name, the service name that we want to connect, XC PDB1. And if you want, you can clear this up so that you don't get confused. So the service name XC PDB1. Let's do the test, and that got successful. Connect to this. And let's give it a few seconds for the SQL worksheet to open. And here, whatever queries. So if I say show con name, where I connected, let's see show con name, and it will say that we are connected to XC PDB1. So that's a PDB that we have connected. So that looks good. Now we are ready to learn SQL. We are ready to learn PL SQL. So whatever we want to learn, we have got our database set up. We have got SQL Developer setup. We have connected to our database, and we are now ready to create table, insert data, learn SQL, whatever we want to do with our Oracle database. So let's do something like this. Let's actually take these commands. Let's paste it here. So what I'm going to do before I actually run this, let me actually exit from this. Otherwise, let's not exit. So let me clear the screen. And what I'll do is I'll show you where I'm connected to. Show con name. So I'm connected to the PDB, XC PDB1. That's where I'm connected. And let me try to run a query called select star from employee. Let me try to run this query. And you can see there is no table called employee. There is no table called employee. Now let me go to the SQL Developer, create a table called employee, insert one record. So let's say first employee had joined our organization called Rock. So let's insert that particular employee. Let's verify that particular employee is present, and let's commit the session. So let's do this one by one. So let me close this. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a table. So that's done. Let me insert one record. That's done. Let me commit it. That's done. And let me select from employee. That's done. Now we are going to take exactly same query. So whatever query that we ran here, same query we are going to take here, and I'm going to take this particular query and I'm going to paste it again, and see now that we got a message table or view does not exist. Now we will get a message that we have got the first table called employee with one record. So we have got our first employee table called, So give me a few seconds. So we have got our first employee, the table which was not there. So we have got that particular table. So if you want to connect to your database from SQL Plus, you can do that. If you want to connect using SQL Developer, you can do that. It's the same database. You will get connected to the same database, irrespective of whether you are using the SQL Plus or whether you are using the SQL Developer. I like SQL Developer because I can see the queries, etc., etc. And here, if you want to expand, this is your database, and here you can see all the tables. So in this, and let me repeat. So if you cannot connect, let me show you one more time. So if you cannot connect to the database, if you have after installing, and if you cannot connect to the database, verify that the listener is running, verify that the Oracle database has been started, only when the listener is running and only when the Oracle database has started, you will be able to connect to your Oracle database. So I hope this particular tutorial was useful. In this particular tutorial, we learned how to install Oracle Database XC21C on Linux, how to connect to our database using SQL Developer, and how to create tables and how to query your database. And before I end this particular tutorial, let me repeat, this is a free Oracle database for everyone. This is the free Oracle database provided by the Oracle company and is completely free. And you can use this particular free Oracle database if you want to learn SQL, you want to learn PL SQL, you want to become a developer, you want to become a DBA, you want to become a data scientist, you want to become an educator. This particular database is completely free for you. I hope you like this particular tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this particular tutorial. If you do like the video, if you do like the tutorials that I'm uploading on my channel, do hit the like button, do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you in next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.